From the 1011 Now Alert Center, this is the Night Beat, sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Good evening and thank you for joining me. I'm Jessica Blum with your headlines for Monday, March 2nd. First, the man accused of shooting and killing a Stromsburg couple and their unborn child is heading to district court for trial. Court documents show that 24-year-old Sterling James waived a preliminary hearing in Lancaster County Court, setting the stage for a trial. James is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder and murder of an unborn child. He is being held without bond, and his charges carry the potential of the death penalty. Investigators think James killed Hannah Neville, who was 32 weeks pregnant, and her husband, Roberto Tanner, who is James's half-brother. James's arraignment is scheduled for March 25th. His wife, Sadie Titus, and 4 other people who lived on a property near Northwest 27th and West Alvo Road have also been arrested in the case. Titus is back in court on Thursday. LPD is also helping with the investigation into an arson at Elnor Market near 27th and Vine Streets. The fire investigator today confirming it was arson. The fire happened around 10:30 p.m. on February 18th. It prompted a large response from LFR due to the size of the building and multiple fires inside. No one was injured. LFR did not say exactly what caused the fire. We will bring you updates on this case as we learn more. Now to an assault and robbery investigation here in Lincoln. The Lincoln Police Department is searching for 2 people involved. Here's what we know so far. Officers were sent to 31st and Randolph Streets on a report of a robbery and assault just after 4 a.m. today. A 40-year-old woman told police she was being driven by 2 people whom she knew. Those 2 suspects then started assaulting her. Police say they hit the woman's legs with a metal rod and took cash from her. She was eventually let out of the vehicle. Investigators think one of the suspects was armed. An investigation is ongoing, so we'll be sure to bring you updates on this story on air and online. Now to an update on the sinkhole that swallowed 2 vehicles in Omaha last week. Omaha officials today announcing that road work is nearly done after a sinkhole suddenly appeared at an intersection in Exarban. Officials are unsure what exactly caused the sinkhole, saying it was too early in the investigation as a full analysis has not been completed. No one was injured, and bystanders helped the 2 drivers whose cars got stuck in the hole. The 67th and Pacific intersection is now just days away from reopening.
I am happy to say that that street will be open this coming Thursday, so extremely quick work. And quite honestly, the way I like to see government work, where we get things done quickly for the people of this great city.
During today's news conference, Mayor Ewing reassured people that Omaha's streets are safe and nobody should have to worry while driving on them. We are just 72 days away from Nebraska's statewide primary election. Today was the last day to file for the primary. There are now hundreds of candidates in dozens of races. That includes more than half a dozen who have thrown their hat in to be the state's next governor. The candidates are many between legislative districts, Board of Regents, and the AG. Pete Ricketts, Mike Flood, and Adrian Smith have challengers as well, as does Governor Pillen, with at least 7 vying for his seat. Pillen is running for his 2nd and final term. His first Democratic challenger was Fremont native Lynn Waltz. Another Fremont resident, Larry Marvin, also filed for the Democrats. They joined 2 members of the Legal Marijuana Now party and 3 Republicans, including J.C. Todd of York. Todd is still running despite being convicted last week on 24 counts in a Hall County court for misconduct relating to petitions he notarized during the 2024 ballot initiative for medical marijuana.
It's obvious that Governor Pillen is a yes man, so I'm not a yes man. You know, I want what's best for Nebraska, not what's best for myself and my fellow colleagues.
Todd telling reporters this afternoon he's feeling really good about the outcome of his appeal, adding he doesn't expect AG Hilgers to grant him a pardon, but saying if he doesn't, he needs to explain to Nebraskans why Pillen's no-bid contract wasn't criminal, but his paperwork mishap is. Nebraska's primary is May 12th. We also spoke with a few of the other candidates in the race for governor, with more on their campaigns up on our website. At the state capitol, an exception to include Husker legend Tom Osborne in the Nebraska Hall of Fame as the first living inductee is heading to the floor for debate. Per state law, Nebraska Hall of Fame inductees must have been dead for at least 35 years before being considered. This bill, introduced by State Senator Dan Lanowski of Hastings, and requested by Governor Jim Pillen, would change that, allowing Osborne to be the Hall of Fame's first living inductee. The Nebraska Examiner reported that the Government, Military, and Veterans Affairs Committee voted unanimously to advance the bill. For a frame of reference, that bronze bust would cost the state $45,000 in a year of budget deficit. The last induction into the Nebraska Hall of Fame was Malcolm X in 2024. After a pair of wins last week, the Nebraska men's basketball team is back in the top 10, in the number 9 spot of the AP Top 25 poll. Nebraska handily defeated Maryland and USC, getting their offense back on track in both games. On top of that good news, Bryce Sanford was named the Big Ten Co-Player of the Week for his performance last week, averaging 24 points on 50% shooting, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists in those games. The Huskers are now down to just 2 games in the season. As the clock winds down towards Selection Sunday, the Huskers are continuing their trip in California on Tuesday with a late-night game against UCLA. Tip-off is set for 10 p.m., so Husker fans prepare to stay up late for that one. Nebraska will then finish its season on Sunday against conference rival Iowa. Finally, tonight, and rounding out your night beat, is a check of the 7-day forecast. I will say there is a total lunar eclipse that is supposed to be visible early tomorrow morning by about 5:04 a.m., but I think cloud cover overnight is really going to spoil our view of trying to see that happen. So really, we're starting to see the cloud bases lower overnight tonight. There could be areas of widespread fog overnight and into tomorrow morning, especially across mainly central portions of the state, creeping into eastern Nebraska, with areas of patchy drizzle in the morning, trying to last into the afternoon. So certainly a baseball feel to that first men's baseball game with first pitch, I think, at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will gradually be warming this week with highs in the 50s on Wednesday, upper 60s on Thursday, and then we're looking at a classic spring system setting up across the state with a couple rounds of thunderstorms possible in eastern Nebraska and snow in western Nebraska by Friday. So by Friday, we are close to an outlook for severe weather. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, as that is in day 5 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, before temperatures cool off just a little bit in the upper and middle 50s on Saturday. And don't forget, we'll have to spring forward an hour going into your Sunday.
You've been listening to The Night Beat, sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln. Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.